Okay, get this. What if we could build an internet, but for energy? It's a pretty radical question, right? Well, the answer just might be a project called RGER. That's short for Red Global de Energías Renovables, which basically means the Global Renewable Energy Network. And today, we're going to break down its massive vision for our planet's future.
I mean, listen to that. A planetary nervous system. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, doesn't it? The idea that clean energy could just flow across the globe as freely as information on the web. It's incredibly bold vision, so let's dig into how it would actually, work. So, at its very core, RGR is all about a fundamental shift in how we think about energy. It's about moving away from an old, limited mindset to a whole new philosophy. And that new philosophy? It really just boils down to 3 words: share, don't store. Okay, so here's the official mission statement. They want to connect the entire planet with an energy system that has 3 key features. It's sustainable, intelligent, and borderless. Now, sustainable, that makes sense. It runs on renewables. Intelligent, yep, we're talking about an adaptive smart grid. But that last one, borderless, that's the real game changer. It means we start ignoring political maps and just focus on getting energy where it needs to go.
And this right here really gets to the heart of that paradigm shift. See, our current system is basically built on a scarcity mindset. We generate power and then we hoard it in these local silos like giant batteries. Rger completely flips that on its head. It's all about a mindset of abundance. So instead of storing it, you're constantly sharing surplus power across this massive global network, moving it in real time from where it's plentiful to where it's scarce.
It's a really inspiring vision, for sure. But you gotta wonder, what's the philosophy that holds all of this together? I mean, what makes a project on this kind of scale even seem possible?
Well, the project's whole strategy is built on just 2 guiding principles. They're drawn from a philosophy called transcendental. Now, that sounds pretty heavy, but in this context, it just means looking beyond all the individual physical parts to understand the deeper, interconnected nature of the whole system. Let's see how that plays out in practice.
The first principle is holistic thinking. And what this means is you stop seeing a solar farm over here and a wind farm over there as separate, isolated projects. Instead, you see the entire global grid as one single, almost living organism, where every single part influences every other part, making the whole thing more resilient and more adaptive.
And the second principle, deep interconnection, it builds right on top of that. It says that a truly connected system isn't just about physical stuff like wires and transformers. The human infrastructure, the collaboration between people, companies, and entire countries is just as critical to making the whole thing actually work.
And that idea of deep interconnection, it's not just some lofty feel-good goal. It's actually the practical blueprint for how you'd build this thing. It all comes down to creating a really powerful network of collaboration.
So, what does that network look like? Think of it like a 4-part ecosystem. First, you've got universities driving all the innovation and research. Then you need governments to create the political framework to make it all possible. Third, you've got private industry bringing the money and the expertise to actually build it. And finally, and this is absolutely crucial, you have local communities integrated from the very beginning to make sure the project benefits everyone. Each part is essential. You take one away and the whole structure just fails.
The goal here is all about synergy. That idea that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. By weaving all these different groups into one single effort, you can create a collective impact that is way more powerful than anything they could achieve on their own. It's about generating progress from cooperation, not just power from renewables.
Okay, so we've looked at the mission, we've looked at the principles. Let's just pull back for a second and ask the big question. What would the world actually look like if energy was truly borderless?
Just try to imagine it. Sunlight from the Sahara Desert powering homes in Europe through the night. Wind from Patagonia helping to light up cities all the way in Asia. In this world, energy would just flow from where there's a surplus to where there's a need, as easily as data zips around the internet. The entire global model could shift from one of fierce competition over scarce resources to one of smart collaboration with abundant ones. The RGER project is, without a doubt, a massive, audacious goal. But it leaves us with one critical question to chew on. If energy truly flowed like information, how would it change not just our power grids, but our societies, our economies, and ultimately, our world?